Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about the whole Spark controversy, the whole KI controversy that's going on the past week or so. And I honestly didn't want to talk about this topic at first without, more information coming out. But there has been a lot more information coming out, and in today's video, I'm not going to go over every little detail. There are other videos on YouTube that will tell you about that, but in today's video, I just want to talk about the whole thing, talk about what I think about it, and some, more of the recent events that have happened over the past couple of hours that is going to affect more players. So essentially, let's do a whole recap of the situation, or a little recap, I guess, and such. So essentially, Hercules, who was the manager for Pirate 101, the community's manager, he essentially resigned because of stuff that was going on at the company. Primarily, the beef was with Spark, and essentially, once Hercules was gone, he came out on Twitter and YouTube with a lot of information about Spark. Essentially, Spark was just too unbearable to be around and too unbearable to work with. He would ask Spark questions like, hey, what kind of program should I run for a tournament? And Spark would be like, haha, just look it up on Google and use that. Stuff like that is what we're talking about. There's also a lot more sensitive topics that I'm not going to talk about in my video, but you can see it easily over on Twitter. So that is kind of the basic thing that is going on here. And a lot of the community loves Hercules, right? Like, I'm personally not really a pirate player. I got to level 10, but I even knew who Hercules was. I saw him on KI Live. Pretty nice guy. Had no beef with him at all. And with Spark, if you were a community leader or you make content, Spark was the guy you would have to talk to. So for example, I host tournaments every like month or two on the channel here, and they all do really well. So I have to talk to Spark about, getting crowns codes, stuff like that for those tournaments. And honestly, I wanted to run another tournament this month since the new update dropped. A lot of people want to try some new creative stuff. It would make for a great tournament, but unfortunately, I'm just not comfortable with talking to the guy with everything that's came out about him. So essentially what's going on right now in the community is people are kind of, I don't want to say like they're hosting like a boycott, but essentially people are not playing the game or paying for the game until KingsIsle actually comes out with a, solid response. Now, they did put something out a couple of days ago. I think Richard made a video on it, and he was like, dude, this is literally like AI speaking, which I thought was pretty funny. Whether it is or not, obviously we don't know. We won't know unless we, worked at the company. But that was pretty funny. Anyways, they did put a response out, just, some PR stuff, just kind of dancing around the topic, saying they're not gonna publicly talk about it, and the community was not happy to hear this, unfortunately. So you're seeing a lot of creators and a lot of players just drop, and no one is supporting KI right now. Obviously, it's just kind of a shit show, I feel like, because KI is like, we're not going to do this, but the community is kind of like demanding something, and I think this is one of those times where if you're King Sal, you cannot be stubborn here. Like, I know you guys really don't like to listen to the community sometimes, but this is not one of those times. Like, you're not gonna win this war. I kind of hate to say it. Like, we literally don't have a community manager right now, and people are calling for Sparks resignation or whatever, and I think we're at like 1,300 right now. And that is going insanely high, right? So if the community is disowning this guy, like, he kind of has to go. And you see this all over Twitter too, right? People are like, fire Spark. They just put out a new tweet basically advertising the stuff in the crown shop, and the entire comment section is just them saying fire Spark. And I don't really see a universe where Spark is welcomed back into the community or stays at KingsIsle after this, because like, how could he, right? If you're the community manager but no one really likes you or welcomes you or respects you, like, what's the point in being here? And a lot of this information coming out makes me kind of think that, when we report stuff to KI and such, like harassment, very blatant harassment, stuff like that, whether it's in PvE, PvP, as creators, right? It kind of makes me think that they just simply goes in one ear, out the other, you know? So a good example you can use if you PvP, harassment is just a very common thing you see if you're a high ranked PvP player, right? Like I can't go a day without getting like two, sometimes three weirdos on my stream, and it's like a 3 4 hour stream. So you'll have cases where people literally confess to cheating in Wiz chat, in discords. They will do the repeated behavior for years to multiple creators. They will stream themselves cheating, and nothing gets done by KI. So if I have to guess, really, it's like we're sending this stuff to Spark, but Spark doesn't know what to do with it, so nothing happens. That's why a lot of this bad behavior in the game just simply just happens, and they're really bad at punishing people for blatantly breaking TOS. I honestly kind of hate being here making a video like this because I feel like I'm being like, oh, fire Spark, and then, bring Hocules back, which I think everyone wants in the community. But at the same time, it's like, y'all gotta realize, like, we're talking about, like, people's livelihoods here, right? Like, I'm sure Hocules loved being at KI and being the Pirate community manager, but there should not have been an environment at KI where Hocules had to feel this way and, stop working and get fired or whatever happened with him. I'm not entirely sure the specific details, but that situation, that environment should never have been there in the first place. And as for Spark, I think people have kind of like dug into his past. I think Locke found basically the old game company Spark worked at, and they also like fired him for some like weird shit. So like if it's just gonna be repeated behavior and we're not gonna be like productive over there at KI, again, not trying to pin this all on Spark. It could be a whole KI thing. It could have just been Spark. Again, we don't know, guys. We don't work there at the end of the day. And it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of unfair to just blame literally everything that's wrong with the game on Spark. Not trying to defend the dude that basically was downplaying the whole Activision Blizzard sexual assault thing that went on. I'm just saying we have to be real here, and it's stupid and unfair to be like, the game is bad because Spark is there right now. And I think it's important for people to acknowledge that at the end of the day, because like I said, guys, this is people's livelihoods we're talking about, whether it's Spark or Hercules, it's a very serious manner. Do I think Spark should get fired? Absolutely. Do I think Spark is the reason why KingsIsle is, kind of having a hard time keeping PvE players and PvP players in the game? No, not really. I see other community managers for other games that I play, and they just seem so like on the job, so like on it. And, I love to think what Wiz would be like if we had someone like that instead of Spark. Also, something I should add here is KingsIsle has announced that they are canceling their KingsIsle Live that was scheduled for tomorrow, I believe it was. Basically, I think we all know why. Essentially, because everything that's going on right now, if they have a KI Live, they're probably just going to see Fire Spark and, Yellow Fever in the chat. So yeah, ideally what I'd like to see happen here is I'd like to see Hercules come back and Spark get fired and have someone replace Spark, ideally. And I would like to see KingsIsle actually put out a public statement because like I said, at this point with how big it's gotten and people are literally, not paying, canceling memberships, the entire creator community as well has kind of like banded together here. Like they just don't feel good about making content on the game. And everyone I've talked to that I'm friends with in the creator community, which is, I mean, I'm not like that friendly, but everyone I've talked to, they all share the same opinion. They don't feel good about supporting a company that is essentially, again, defending the whole Blizzard Activision sexual assault thing that went on a while ago. And they definitely don't want that person as their community manager. That's just wrong. Get us someone new. The community has spoken. As KingsIsle, you cannot be stubborn here and act like everything's going to be okay and just fly over the radar, fly under the radar. That's not going to happen. So what I'm really hoping for is KI does the right thing because, I love this game a lot, and that's why I make a lot of videos talking about how the game can get better and improve at the end of the day, right, guys? So I'm really hoping they make the right choice here, and I'm really hoping I think they'll fire Spark, but the new guy that they get in, or woman, I hope they can do a better job, and we can actually see King Sal do a better job, and you know, whether it's enforcing rules in their TOS or get updates out faster, better clear communication, stuff like that. We don't really know. We don't really know, right? But that's what I would hope for the future of Wiz. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care.